We still have deadlock over the debt talks. The president seems to be standing firm on a $4 trillion big package after House Speaker John Boehner suggested going with a smaller deal. So who will budge first? Democrats on entitlement reform or Republicans on tax hikes? Our Washington insiders join me now for a debate. Political strategist Jamal Simmons and Ron Bonjean. Thanks so much, guys, for getting up so early.
Thank you.
Good morning.
All right, it's interesting. So it seems to still be sort of at a stalemate, although that deadline is now looming. So another meeting today. Jamal, let me start with you. Who's going to budge first?
You know, I think both of these parties are going to have to budge because at the end of the day, Americans need for both the Democrats and Republicans to work this deal out because, frankly, this is sanity versus insanity. It's not even GOP versus Democrat. If we don't do this, we're going to be in an economic catastrophe. Look at what's happening in Italy right now. After Greece, after all these countries that are going through this in Europe, the United States can't be in a position where we're not paying our bills. I think the president understands that. I think the House GOP leaders understand that. But there's going to have to be a deal that has taxes in it. I know that's a bad word. It's going to have taxes in it, and it's going to have to deal with entitlement cuts, and it's going to have to deal with domestic spending. Yeah,
Ron, it's interesting because a lot of people, economists would argue that Europe right now, Greece, Italy, Spain, the reason that they're all defaulting is because of overmassive spending. But be that as it may, let me get back to the heart of the matter, which is, will the Republicans, do they win some points if they come off of this tax thing and look like they're more compromising? Or did the last midterm election put them in a situation where they absolutely have to stand firm?
Well, first of all, I'm really pleased that President Obama and the Republicans have agreed that they're not going to let the debt ceiling go, that they're going to try to stop it. And I think that's a pretty positive thing. But I do think the Republicans have the high ground right now. They were sent to Washington last November because of the high taxes and high spending that President Obama and the Democrats put in place. And they feel like they're in a pretty good position. They don't necessarily need to budge right now. They have drugged the Democrats this far to talking about $2 trillion of spending cuts. I mean, that's significant. They were nowhere near this a few months ago. So I think they're right now in the negotiations.
Jamal, let me ask you this, because some skeptics of the president looking like he's being compromising say, look, the reason he's talking about entitlement cuts to Social Security and to Medicare, maybe it's a political trick that once he would get the Republicans to increase taxes, that maybe he wouldn't live through that. Can you respond to that?
Well, I think whatever deal they make, everybody's going to have to get in the pot together at the same time. But I'm going to argue with Ron on one point. There was a section of the electorate that sent the Republicans into Washington to talk about spending and deficits. But most people in America want something to happen on this unemployment rate. You got 14 million Americans unemployed. We're spending weeks and weeks talking about the debt ceiling. We have yet to see an employment bill out of the House of Representatives, anything that has to do with that. I think Americans want this government to get back to the business of that 9.2% unemployment rate. The president tried to deal with it. He got pretty far. He didn't get far enough. And so now they sent Republicans to get us even further, and the Republicans haven't done that.
Okay, well, we're changing the topic here a little bit, although they are intertwined, Ron. I mean, I think that they are, because we saw the job numbers come out. They were dismal, horrible. 18,000 jobs created in June. Ron, I'll give you the last one.
And you know why? You know why there are 18,000 jobs? Hold on. You know why there are 18,000 jobs created in June? Because 39,000 government employees lost their jobs.
It's a piece of the puzzle. It's a piece of the puzzle, but I got to get Ron in here.
Republicans are asking what tax increases will increase jobs. What tax increases will grow jobs? They won't. We haven't seen it. Is there a silver bullet tax increase out there? We don't think so. And that's why Republicans feel very good about where they are, because we need to cut taxes, we need to stimulate growth, and we need to grow the job market out there. And increasing taxes and coming to this deal with that type of mindset is not the way to go. And that's why no president has won a re-election or a candidate won a presidential election by advocating for tax increases.
It's very interesting because we saw a slice of the pie right here between Jamal and Ron. This is probably what's going to be going on, the same kind of debate, 2 o'clock today, when all the forces get back together in Washington.
Hey, Gretchen, before we go very quickly, I just want to let everybody know we are still doing a scholarship campaign for the Rosa Parks Scholarship Foundation. And if you go to JamalSimmons.com, it's $40. You can help 40 kids go to college. I just want to make sure everybody remembers that as we go in the last 2 weeks of the scholarship.
Thank you. I was just going to mention it, Jamal. Thanks so much, Jamal and Ron. Have a fantastic week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Not a single president since FDR, as you just heard Ron say, has won a second term with an unemployment rate above 7.2%. Right now it's 9.2%. Stuart Varney says the White House has a plan to spin this, but will it work? Good morning, Stu. And no kids allowed here. This restaurant turning away families with small children because they cause too much commotion. Is that right or wrong? We'll debate it.